Hello everyone, what's up? In today's video we will see how easy it is to apply an oil dot filter to increase tonal variation and introduce subtle streaking effects. Whether you are a wargamer or a scale modeler, if you want to learn more about weathering, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell. As those of you who are members of my Discord server will know, this was a momentous occasion for me because I was really excited to really learn how to use this technique myself. The products that I set to use for this were the rust, buff, and white Oilbrushers, but as you will see in a moment, I kind of changed my mind halfway through. In any case, you can see the whole list on the screen. Here you can see how I start to apply the white dots. This was my first mistake. Too much white, and some of those dots were a bit too large. Next I'm coming in with the buff, which is a much more forgiving color, and I would recommend it for a lot of different applications. And then I applied some rust dots. However, I was feeling adventurous and decided to go for dark blue as well. As you can see, there is a certain logic in terms of the placement of the dots. Here I am starting to blend the oils with a soft makeup brush dampened in odorless thinner. If you had seen my face at this point, you would have seen my expression of utter horror at this white mess that I had created. I thought, oh my god, I have ruined my model. So trying really hard not to panic, I continued to work on the dots, and although it wasn't easy, after a while the glasses looked more presentable. By this stage, feeling rather relieved, I wanted to strengthen the streaking effect on the upper part of the glasses, so I applied some more dark brown dots. I also had the idea to switch from the makeup brush to the synthetic saw brush, and boy did it make a difference. As you can see, those streaks are looking much better now, and for me this was probably the second lesson learned. The first being, if you use white, use it sparingly. But as you know, I have no compunctions about sharing my mistakes with you guys. This channel is all about us learning together. Here you can see that I went back to the makeup brush and used it for what I should have used it in the first instance, which is making existing streaks softer and more diffuse. And for that, it works really well. I'm now beginning to work on the side of the hull with 3 different Oilbrushers this time. This is dark brown now, next is buff, and then it's time for rust. I'm also trying to control the size of the dots a bit more. You can of course use a separate brush instead of the applicator, whatever works best for you. And there we go. Notice the difference between these dots and the first ones. Here I was beginning to feel happy with the effect, but I knew that I had to keep working at it to make it subtler and less extreme. By the way, what I was doing out of camera is clean my brush at regular intervals. This is important to avoid getting all the colors mixed up. And now for the makeup brush to make the effect yet softer. And done. Here on the turret is when I really started to feel more confident and to really enjoy myself. So dot dot dot, and then on to the blending. Here we go, that's much more convincing than before, don't you think? As you will no doubt have noticed by now, the key to this technique is to gently drag the oil dot down, applying little pressure, and doing it in only one direction. It is also important that you clean your brush regularly. I did it almost after each pass, which is probably overzealous of me, but we need to make sure that we don't get all the colors into a sort of homogeneous mix. Another thing I'd like to mention is that despite my initial shock at the mess that I made with the white dots, with some effort and some thinner, it was fairly easy to rectify the problem. So as with most weathering techniques, if you're not happy with how your oil dots look, bear in mind that you can either keep building the effect up or remove it altogether. So don't give up, guys, because chances are that you will be able to engage what I like to call the weathering reset button. By the way, I reviewed the Oilbrushers a few months ago, when I was still a complete noob when it came to the oil dots. While I'm by no means an expert now, obviously, I hope that this video convinces you that this is not only an invaluable technique, but most importantly, one that anyone can get right. As I always tell my students, if I can do it, so can you. Now for some final touches with the makeup brush again. By the way, the other way to apply oils, which you can actually see on the other areas of the tank, is to use stippling, but that's a story for another day. If you have been wondering about how I applied dust and mud effects to this Panzer I, or how I did the exhaust covers or the turret, worry not, all of that is coming yet. However, next week's video is going to be a change of pace and genre. In the meantime, if you want to know how to weather tank tracks, click on the video on the left, and if you want to learn more about AMMO of MIG Oilbrushers, check out the one on the right. Thank you all, and remember, keep it up and weather it out.